We now arrive at one of the more prevalent arguments against the resurrection, the idea that someone stole the body of Jesus from the tomb. Several candidates have been proposed as suspects, including some magical ones. A new idea I've seen is that the body of Jesus was stolen by necromancers, people who use dead bodies to perform magical rites. This seems a bit odd to start, since such practices were strictly forbidden in Judea, and the Romans didn't look kindly on them either. It might also be pointed out that if you wanted a dead body, you could get one a lot easier for less trouble than Jesus' body would be, a point we'll talk more about later. The argument made in reply by certain people is that Jesus, being a known holy man and miracle worker, his body would have been particularly attractive to magical practitioners. But this argument flounders on a point we made earlier. Jesus died a shameful and disgraceful death. He therefore lost any status as a holy man he would have had in the eyes of others. There's also another point to make that derives from the performance of necromancy itself. All the evidence suggests that when necromancers had need of a body for their arts, they didn't steal the whole body from the tomb. Instead, they would either conduct their rituals in the tomb, leaving the body where it was when they were finished, or they would slice off whatever they needed, mutilating the body and taking the selected parts with them and leaving the rest behind. It doesn't really help critics to argue that Jesus' nose and ears may have been missing, while the rest of his body was still in the tomb. The only examples that can be found of an entire body being used for magical purposes involve cases where the intention was to resurrect the person. In such a case, there would be no reason to move the body of Jesus from the tomb. A related idea is that maybe the body of Jesus was stolen for medicinal purposes, like the mummies of Egypt were stolen. But the theft of mummies for medicinal purposes was unknown until the 16th century. There's no evidence for such use of mummies in the Roman era. Moreover, Jesus' body would not have been permeated by any preserving substances, and in any event, the spices used for the preservation of bodies by the Jews weren't the sort of things the people who stole mummies were looking for. So this Harry Potter variation on the theft thesis doesn't work out, but there are a few more candidates, and we'll look at another next time.
Where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you, pretending you got a sliver. You're not fooling me, 'cause I can see